Our first thread of the day is titled Mother-in-law's house looks like she has a baby. Just a rant. My mother-in-law has every item necessary for a baby at her house. She has diapers, clothes, bottles, a high chair, and more. She buys him stuff and shows us like she's going to give it to us, but then she keeps it. She's done that with 2 pairs of shoes already. I swear she has more toys and baby stuff at her house than I do at mine. When she comes over to our house and if she sees something that she likes, she'll buy it for her house. If you went to her house, you would literally think that she had a baby again. I even told her that joking yesterday, and she said all she has to do is buy a crib, which she said she's planning on. Yo, my son just turned 1 in March and is not staying the night at her house anytime soon. Now, I find this one so funny because actually, in many ways, I think it's kind of cool that she is having this whole experience by herself and buying all these things, and then she's actually keeping them at her house. That seems to me like a much better alternative than if she decides that she wants to buy all of these things, but she actually wants you to use them. And so she buys mountains and mountains and mountains of toys that you don't like and you don't want at your home, but then she gifts them to you. And then you feel bad because like it's a gift and you should take it and so on. We've covered a couple of scenarios like that where a mother-in-law is just so intense about gift giving that it creates problems. So actually, it seems to me like this is a pretty good alternative. Like there's a lot of pluses to it. Number one, you don't have to keep any of the stuff that she's excited about in your home, so you don't need to deal with the clutter. And number two, if you ever take your baby over there, you don't need to pack up anything. She has diapers, she has wipes, she has clothes, etc., etc. So it's actually very low effort for you. I get the point of saying she's going a bit overboard, but if she has the money and she wants to waste it, then that's her choice, right? She's a grown adult woman. She gets to make her decisions. So actually, if this was my mother-in-law, I honestly wouldn't care all that much. I would still see it as a bit of a waste of money. And I would maybe have a conversation about the crib and say, look, we're not going to be leaving him here overnight anytime soon. But like I said, honestly, if she's not actually being overbearing and annoying in terms of she's asking repeatedly to have him spend the night over, or she keeps harassing you about having him stay over at her place, or, you know, whatever else she might want to do with the child, if she's actually just reliving the experience of buying things for a baby and she's doing that all by herself in her little corner in her house, then honestly, I don't see the harm. I don't think it hurts anyone. I don't think it hurts you. I kind of think very much that this is one of the least harmful ways that that desire and that behavior could manifest itself. So I'm actually pretty okay with it. The first comment here says, while she'll be disappointed when she never gets to use that stuff, I can understand some basic stuff like a pack and play and wipes and toys, but these grandmas that go all out are off their rockers. And like maybe, yeah, you know, I don't disagree that you don't need to go overboard and you don't need to, you know, stock your place as if you're going to have the baby over all the time. But honestly, I think in-laws just get really excited and it feels like a big deal for them. And the idea of being able to shop for baby clothes is just really exciting. And I don't feel that there is a need to take that joy and fun away from someone. It only honestly annoys me when you're gifted with a lot of stuff that you don't want and you don't want to keep and you don't want to use. And there, I think it's a little bit irritating because now you have to find something to do with that stuff. Then it becomes a problem that you need to solve. But if it's really all kept in that place, then I'm just like, yeah, well, is it really a big deal? The next person, also very like completely over the top. She says, I would make it a point that things don't get used at her house and go to waste, but I can be super petty. Yeah, that sounds super petty. Again, I would understand it if there was something about those things that like annoyed you, that you don't want to use, that it's poisonous, is made of a material that you don't want in contact with your child, that there's some kind of reason for it. But just to make the point of you don't actually have a baby, like I'm pretty sure she knows that she doesn't actually have a baby. She's just reliving it in whatever way makes her happy. And then she's like, you know, maybe some of these things will become useful and you can use them when you get the opportunity to. And that's kind of it. Next one says, on the bright side, at least you don't need to pack anything when you go visit. Right? Like that's a pretty big bright side, honestly. It's so annoying if you go somewhere with a baby and then you've forgotten to bring your wipes over or you don't find diapers or something like that. That's so much more irritating and frustrating than this as an alternative, I would take this any day. One person replies to this, she says, for real, my son's grandparents don't have anything for him, so it's like packing for a vacation every time we go there. And you can see it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. So if you do pack up your house as a grandparent, if you do pack up everything in your house, so you have all the things that are needed to look after a baby there, and then the daughter-in-law and maybe even your son is going to be really annoyed at you because, oh my God, you're going overboard. And then if you don't, then it's also annoying because like now it's really annoying. I have to pack up all this stuff. So come on. I think this is one of those cases where I say this is not the end of the world. This person says, if my mother-in-law had done this, I would have seen it as a challenge to never use a single baby wipe. These women are nuts. I really just fundamentally think that when people respond to completely perfectly harmless things with this level of vitriol and pettiness, then there's something going on with them. Like I don't know why. I don't know why you care so much. You know, if you could ignore it and never think about it, and then maybe once in a while when you're over at her place, she might bring out a wet wipe and you can use the wet wipe. Like maybe that's the extent of it. And then that's it. It's like just case closed. You never have to waste a single thought on that whole problem anymore. Here's another one. She says, I always think them buying clothes for the house is especially weird. Like the baby won't be coming over naked, and no, you will not be changing them just for fun. But shoes, 2 pairs? Babies barely even need shoes, let alone 2 pairs for only at grandma's. Sounds like she likes blowing money. And yeah, like maybe she does. I feel bad very much when people decide to do this at times where, maybe they don't have the money to spare. Maybe they could be doing other things with that money. But honestly, if she does have the money to spare, if it doesn't hurt her to waste some money on a pair of shoes, a pair of baby shoes particularly, then I would just kind of be like, yeah, like I'm not going to do anything with this. But so long as you're not giving it to me, I really don't care. I truly just deep down in my heart of hearts, I could not care less. And then this one, again, you'll see how much perspective changes how you deal with situations. This person says, every time you go over there and change the baby, stuff diapers and wipes in your bag. That stuff's expensive. You see, you could, I'm pretty sure she actually would not even care about you taking it because then she gets to go buy more. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the case. Here's another example. Honestly, I wish my mother-in-law would do this. They refuse to have anything for my baby at their house, pack and play included. It's such a pain to pack everything up for a simple visit, so we don't go much. They are over an hour away and give us a hard time about it. My parents have tons of things for my baby, not a crazy amount, but enough that if we forgot something and such, and it's so nice. I literally just bring a diaper bag with food and a couple of diapers and clothes because they have most of it. Extra clothes and diapers included. Just pointing out, because both sets of grandparents are polar opposites in this, I'd rather they have stuff even if I bought it and they kept it there. This is a little bit funny to me because I would not have this expectation towards my in-laws either, because I think it's fair enough for them to say, hey, you know what, we only have so much space, we're pretty limited, we don't want a lot of clutter, so we don't want to save things that will be used maybe once every few months, especially in this case where she says they live quite far away and so they only go over quite rarely. I mean, you can just pack up a bag that you always take with you and then you have it all packed and ready every time you go, and then it's a lot less hassle and a lot less effort, and it's not quite that complicated to do. And then you still buy the extra stuff that you would in theory leave over at their house, but you just have it in a dedicated space in your closet, and then you don't have to think about it anymore. But yes, so this is not the end of the world, people. I think that sometimes these in-law problems are just so minor that it boggles the mind. Some people obviously do experience serious problems with their in-laws, and there is fair enough. But this one is like the best possible outcome that could happen, because it does not even seem like the mother-in-law is being super overbearing or super insistent by doing this. She's just into stocking up her place and she wants to be ready. And if that makes her happy, then who does it hurt?